y'all seen the date, man. It's a Juneteenth day, of course, man. And, we'll go ahead with this. Just getting it froze over. Just don't let it drip out and then just sit it out later, man. Just coming off a little the previous and shit. Just doing something like this for the day. Now, this shit already done started letting it melt. Right there. This shit. So we're gonna just let the rest drain off and then we can drink. It's already been frozen twice, so we just gonna drink it straight out on this shit right here. Let it drip out. That's how we gonna do this. Well, we gonna take this shit too. Show you motherfuckers we ain't lost no flow. Don't give a fuck about what the world say, man. They gonna say they shit. They gonna take it straight out to whoever they can get the goddamn be they next little hype bullshitter, man. But some good shit right here. We'll keep it real. You know, how we doing? So, shit. Been for this shit. Been for, shit. That's how we doing it. Goddamn. That was a time where rules get banned or whatever. Now we been stuck with our shit throughout. That's how we going shit. Yeah, I'm saying, man. Just showing up. Just doing a little something right here. Without the damn club or penthouse or anything. But, like, got, if, time, besides no shit, they coming to, for hours, for fouls, all that, whatever, man. Keep this motherfucker hype, Not the bullshit, but it ain't even hype, man. This is past that. So check the essence of it. And, work is getting this little shit with it too, man. Right there. And, hey. So we prep for this shit like that. That's how we doing it. Just like that way, man. Shit. Ain't just fast for this shit, man. Prep for it. Shit. Shit, just getting this shit along. And besides the pressure we talking about, going into some little organizing, like little organizing. There's a little nationalist shit too, man. I want to go into. This would represent the days of kind of EP about the shit that rap went off, Paris, Common, all that, man. So we don't do that, man. So I don't want to say we prep for this because we really didn't. It's from the heart, man. But still, no matter the tone, the shit, the time is, the motherfucker can't get the, sign this is the eyesight, right, and all that, man. But we getting this shit knowledge, going through something, understand the little reality shit, all that. Take it there. So that's how we working, man. Guarding the shit, holding the shit, defenses, whatever, sold the shit. Uh, Counter it, man. Count us out. I don't give a fuck. They can count us forward, count us out, whatever, man. Just doing our shit. So that's how we go past all of the, shit where you gotta meet this quota. All that, all that little promo or whatever, man. So we ain't done over enough. We ain't done over on this shit, man. We're just gonna take it to a little point. Just shit. We're gonna take it to a point of the team with the black national shit. We're gonna kick it there. We're gonna show it rap at a little something back in the day. So we're gonna do that. Of course, right now we're going pop and some of the shit a little bit, and a few of the people around, like some of the former Black Panthers, roll up with the organized shit. Got a few other things in cities how they would get with, especially around this club mix and shit. We've been showing a little, but without saying the South history. It's not the South history, the whole shit, but it's just more like coming off some of the how the industry and the friends, so called sometimes, but more so just motherfuckers they party with, just how they was doing it back in the 1990s, 2G time. Looked at even the club shit around some of the rock and heat shit because you got the community, black community, and it's how they really felt on it. So we wanted to put a little of that to it. Not just the black community, but heat, like Michael Mann, they had the scene in the club with Pacino and De Niro. But that might have been a bar, but there was a club scene that showed the era of the music. So I mean, stuff shit around everywhere. And, it wasn't seen the way it's seen now in society. So we just coming with that bomb ass slide shit around, the club was look at it. Nowadays it's so modern, you know, and shit as much as the underground as we rapping, keep it going, man. You know, we ain't starting on bullshit, but bucking back shit like that. Man. It's low of the underground nuggets and shit. As far as the goddamn shit, man. Just whims and all that. The whims to the shit you don't count, to the whatever win, or to whatever shit that show, it's no clout, whatever the fuck, man. Just coming with it all a little bit on this jam shit. So, sipping the peace. We don't do that broken on the AM mix or some shit like that just because it's 11:27. So, it's a lapse and shit. So, yeah, man, we gonna do that. Just saying that about the time, man. But, yeah, man, the reason why we saying why certain shit don't matter. I think it's a lot of discouragement with certain shit when we talking about rap and the group, not just rap and the group, but black community and politics. It's usually more industry. Like you got this shit nowadays with the new Black Panther Party. It's still separate from European party shit. Though obviously they black, but got people with that group, the new Black Panther Party. People that fuck with it, man. It's Barnell Edge, it's Dr. Candace Matthews. Not to fuck up his name, but we just saying that's cool, but it's a little more of the industry and political shit. I still think that way back, you had the underground shit more with like the rap people in the mix at that time. Reason why it was more underground was the the, the scenarios. You had organizations that were legit official, but the scenarios made it more underground. So because of rap and where it was, then the connection or the affiliations were more underground at that time. So that's why it was like Pac with around Crips or Pac around like Matu, the Thug Life shit or whatever like that. Um, Obviously those are still official. The shit with Matu was done with, Matu in prison with Pac doing it there. Obviously the other Thug Life niggas, they come all on into it too, man. Though at a point Pac got a little, to the point where people want to get in, or he felt like this period was like the celebrity shit. Also, people like the shock he once said Pac would allow people earlier in his career to kind of like fuck with him in his home, like live with him, reside with him, all that, certain shit like that. There was a lot of that giving of talk or whatever like that. Early 1990s, Pac. This is more the earlier shit we're going over. We still gonna get to it, but we gonna come off with it around the realness of the jam, man. You know how I get to it. We're gonna kick it right back up on that one. It's a little later 1990s, but hey, man, it's still to show how much with all the club and all the way people was doing their shit in terms of rapping or whatever. That shit would go all right with the rap and even these little underground groups. They was around it, so I guess we'll go there. We'll go with the underground. Though this is gonna be starting off from a news special, so that's how we're gonna go with it in here. Oh yeah, and another thing, the underground aspect, I think that worked out in this aspect that we're gonna take a look at, man. When we check this shit now, I think that there was a certain popularity for black organizing. But also because of the reality, a lot of them would kind of fizzle off or fall off because of certain scenarios. I guess they wouldn't be able to get at. So this is where the rap shit and kind of somewhat involved it because sometimes the voice of these groups couldn't be that big because of the situation. You know, who was their chairman or speaker. So not that Pac had to be a speaker for the organizing, but we're gonna just look up a bit of the club shit here and then ride on for a bit and then come back and then look at some more organizers. Um, so I want to get a little couple of lists together. But the shit we've gone over so far, man, from the jam, I think coming off the whole so-called friend, so-called aspect, whatever. When I say it like that, I'm talking about because this is the industry. Look at left eye, she described the industry. Look at certain other rappers, Bone Thugs, all them. You got like the joints that came on with friends, man. We done had a couple of those. But of course, we kicked off with the Flow Tree, the D'Angelo, the Vanguard D'Angelo, and the Flow Tree, and little groups and Jill Scott shit in the mix. We also had TLC, obviously, said that Jamiroquai. I like that short aspect around the club shit too. So we wanted to bring that a little into this mix also. Um, but for this shit, yeah, man, shit, put the shit on real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna put the shit on them real quick, man. You know that we gonna come with some New Jack shit, Jack Swing or some shit like that, man. He said this is this that thug life or a little. I want to say besides that, I want to say this is more your organizing of 1990s rap pop. That pop, that earlier pop, organizing shit and all that. Trying to keep shit together before this justice system try to fuck it up. And of course, Pac had to deal with certain people he ended up fucking with that he felt he shouldn't have fucked with too. So you have that aspect too. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is that made the shit a little more intense with this organizing and what niggas would keep to that shit at that time. But Pac could, like this Doug, like they could deal with it with dealing with the gang shit and trying to make that one better. Like he said, I can't really tell people stop selling drugs. You can't really do that. But you can definitely tell them to respect like the black community or whatever community. You look at a couple of them situations too, man. I think that's where the why you had so many situations. Like you look at what people look for in the music at the time, with like freaknik and all that shit, man. Well, as we're gonna see, that's where a lot of shit with that time of the community and the music became key, or what was liked or wanted or respected or whatever like that, and come out of spots like we finna take a look at. Check this shit. Um, it'll be a second. All right. Okay. This was from Miss Maggie. We're gonna keep this club going off. Uh, Maggie Freaknik. Shit, man. Right here. You got people with their Freaknik confessions or whatever. We're gonna. This is a pretty good summary where she gives kind of where it was going into at the time. I think rap was kind of at that point out of any music to deal with shit like this. So I think that's where rap was coming into certain shit, especially when they worked it right back to the black community and they had groups that would organize and help out. Uh, we would look at that. Yeah, like also, man. I know we talking about the club over here, in the states, man. But you gotta like mention the Panthers again and Malcolm and all that. That Pop fucking, even MLK a little bit shit, I guess. Pop was definitely obviously a little more than Malcolm, um, but he's still people MLK shit. But in mentioning all these guys, man, there's a look too that the underground doesn't have a lot of sometimes, and I think that 1990s rap showed that when you look at the other motherfuckers that Pop was around, like shit, having a Black Panther party, all that, those former guys kind of helped with the thug life shit along with too. I think that was still the underground shit going, man. And, though they used to be a little more up, but the underground shit was going, and now I had rap. So that's where certain organizations like New African Panther and all that, they were kind of leaning off of that aspect, with Pac and other people that was around the music period, around definitely the clubbing and the rap shit. You was within that shit. You was just doing some shit. You was doing your shit. You was getting it in the situation, but. Um, that underground aspect of where those guys would roll with rap, that put a little more to the organizing element of the shit. I think so, because in this case of rap, they were putting for black community situations and also just any community help or shit like that. So that got out there with the people, and it just happened to hit right with from the Crips to Bloods to just the motherfuckers doing their shit in the city, man. And LA, the place they tried to work that, but along the way, you got all the big, where the big music shit is going, the big, cash and whatever, man, and that kind of got into some of the mixed organizing, man. Like what Thug Life had to deal with, like all of them had to deal with, like the shit around like a pop case, a co-defendant, staying alive. Niggas trying to pop out, several niggas and shit like that, man. Even with that, man, I think that this earlier point actually was dealing with that aspect of the organizing and keeping it going. Take a look at a couple of them shits, man, that kind of sometimes try to fuck up. You see it from the rap point, the underground shit. You see where we're going to start with right here. We just let it ride. We'll start from the club. Like you said, bring it like that on all these. This is the club shit around. Reality, rap, and the drug war, opioid shit. Just, you had them shit. Another one. You gotta look at Atlanta the most because of the freaknik shit that spread all over. And for where we dealt with black people, I think this works for even the Juneteenth day with certain. Actually, look at how it started. Check this shit. Um, one more thing. I'm gonna have a few more. One more. It's all good. Hit one more up on the brew. That's all good. That's all good. Get one more up on some shit. Um, I Atlanta had everything coming on down to the city. I mean, throughout the whole country. Yeah, man. I think this is a key ass club situation for reality and for organizing around it. Like they dealt with the organizing for shit. Like for like black community, they would do that in the mix of all the city, like shit popping. That's what I think the organization did. They didn't try to ban the club. Or, sometimes you see social media nowadays in modern rap time, they trying to play at the clubs, that. Well, they handled it better back in the days, the 1990s. They're just a better handling of it. You still had your drummers and stuff, but I mean, rap to deal with it. They dealt with a lot of where things would go into now with the big like promotions and all that. The rap back then was pushing those days, but nowadays they don't like the way rap was doing shit back then sometimes. but rap was pushing shit with the clubs and all that shit around Pac. Yeah, with the bullshit from Haitian Jack, all them. They was all pushing like certain club like promoters and all that, and they was kind of working. Of course, Pac had people. He did the independent shit here and there. So you had different ways that rap would get on in the mix and still keep the club shit happening, man. I guess we can take a look at one of the big spots in South New York was fucking with it. Me and Bad Boy fitting back in the night before they did this, Bad Boy and all that shit in the South, man. They were fucking with this South shit, but Pac was definitely opening up in it just as much as they were. Actually, maybe a little more. Actually, yeah, definitely a little bit more. All that. A lot of rap shit that was getting off in Atlanta because of where the people could get off to with making like rap groups and the meetings up. They would meet up and all that shit. They had a club situation working, so in Atlanta just happened to have a club shit that could work through the whole East Coast anyway. You know, what I mean, this is the drug war era and all this shit too happening. So club shit was around it all, and I think that's why sometimes it was very, very keen, real next to rap shit. It was very next to that, because the club shit did those. That shit comes out through somebody push it on, like they push it on for way to get popular or whatever. So people sometimes blame the rap, but rap is very, on and tight with the club aspect always. But for that reality, club shit hitting back out. Rap moving like that anyway. So it was that in tight with the club shit, with the club and shit and all that. Rap shit just happened to have that too with it, man. Especially in these days, push it, but back or living back then days, but in these days now, the amount of shit doesn't have that same goal with the club, with the rap mix, pushing it on and all that. But rap shit now can still get off some shit through the club, even in these old days of, of the law, and all that. They was on club shit, some raw shit, screw and all that. I'm just saying that aspect could still work out, but it wasn't just the music. I mean, in a way it was, but other aspects within the club where it got into people and their political and popularity and social views. It wasn't like the black, national shit we talking about with the, organization, but the club it had that aspect of rap organized, but this is more music shit. Your black nationalist shit is like Black Panthers going off like Patrice Lumumba. That's what 1990s rap still had a bit of that in it too. But looking at all these elements, it's all making she kind of popping. This is gonna be key to what the lady said in the first joint, where she was saying situation and what it got started for her with it around. So say it.
Sure, it had. How do you say? I don't want to say noble beginnings, but I think it started as a thing because a lot of people in the community couldn't go to like Daytona Beach and stuff like that. Like some of the kids from Majority, it had. How do you say? I don't want to say noble beginnings, but I think it started as a thing because a lot of people in the community couldn't go to like Daytona Beach and stuff like that. Like some of the kids from majority institutions could go to, and so they started this like spring break kind of thing here in Atlanta, and word got out and people from all over descended down to Atlanta, and then it moved from just being the college kids to some of the locals, and y'all know people can't act right, and it kind of like locked down the city. I remember driving, I think I was driving to work because I worked in college, and it was like bumper to bumper traffic. People were dancing on cars, all kind of stuff was happening in the cars. Y'all, I'm a relationship girl. I've had a marriage and a long-term relationship. So sure it had.
I can see a lot more of the hotel, but we just letting some of that shit play off, and then we're gonna kick on a little other elements around, let that do its thing. So when she talking about them cars and the motherfuckers in them cars and the rocking, the shaking on the outside is one thing, but on the inside, depending on who you fucking with, or who you got with you, or whatever. So it's gonna be some more other shit, man. And freaknik could take it all. The whole niggas, no pun intended. When I say could take it all, it dealt with this growing uh, rap situation and what they would promote and push anyway. So you always say the politicians coming at a nigga neck, because like in the political place and all that, just in trying, stay a step, ahead or whatever as rap would do, all that man, you know, just the trying and went, but it didn't just go. It didn't just come around one more time, but still freaking to let you know what's busting out, showing up out there, doing this thing. That's what it is from the sun, just on down, from the sun on down, man, to the evening. Shit, wake on, or just shit, get on up through the night, midnight, all that, you know. So it is going on. Hey, so you gonna stay in, or you're not, but chasing, they do what they dreaming. Ass shit, all that money cash situation going on, man, and all into the night, the evening, the waiting, the fucker waiting, fucker Daytona situation. You know, they they work to wait to be over and then just move it on. And that's establishing, that time it takes, that takes a shaping, makes it happen. You know, all that breaking it in. It's a little past breaking in the dances. You had your step and shit, all that going on. The pre, the brat, all this Atlantic shit. Aaliyah, Left Eye, especially 1998. It was saying like, we got that atrium. We're just looking at some shit, man, around this magazine at the time. Although, other people got their beat on freaking too, coming off. Just looking at it real quick, just that little simple description of what she gave. Uh, I mean, it brought a lot of effort to the rap. Basically, like what I feel like the most club vibe type of effort going on is freaking was out in the streets, but your most club connected shit I felt that lasted. Of course, besides lasting, but the most club connected shit I feel, man, that had that effort for these definitely. So that's what we are looking at. Actually, it's like 1997, but still 97, 98. You see it, Kim, F5, all that, dealing with that more affiliated birthday, Mr. Rivera. So yeah, you always had that connection, not just Rivera, but again, mentioning Pac, and all these other people, man, like that. You had that situation. So you know what it is. It's Atrium. Think something about the dance situation going, but they got a few other, you know, situations they going past the poem flick. I'm gonna say it like that. The set, baby, is right there to block the shit they doing. They doing. I said, man, just to put it right there, and who not or who is, top charge, the top in charge. Whoever the head is, if they can't fuck with it, man. Cause spring break is, dreaded all this, shit away. Talking about somebody had to go to Daytona. Nah, fuck that. You can hit it in Atlanta. Freaking, you have this situation. Just Maggot was saying, man. So that's what it is. Just that's the standard shit, man. Dance with shit, man. Hey, you can't goddamn can't get the word out. They just managing with the shit. No, you got to be on, doing the shit. That's what it is. Fancy will get it, but fancy shit ain't always necessarily gonna be that situation with freaking. What's up on that shit? So just you just fuck the bullshit, the gabbing and all that, and the gabbing, gifting and all that, man. It's some other different shit. I feel something freaking shit was going to me, man. So we gonna do it like that. I feel like at least with what they're saying right here, that's what we gonna kick off with a couple of these little situations. We're gonna ride. Shit real quick. Let's Yeah, we will be right back on that. Shit. I might just work the channel. Fuck it. You gotta like the sports aspect in it too. Just all types of people, different types of working, and you know what I mean, with the club shit. A lot of promoting the sports shit did too, but so did the opioid. And sometimes, I mean, they putting on the club to some of these motherfuckers with the shit. You know what I mean? It's just the whole situation. So I think just take a look at some of that. Fucking work for shit. We'll kind of come back with a chance ready on. We got one, but it want to do some work. This right here gonna get drunk up. So we're gonna see. We're gonna drink a little bit of what's in there. That's what's coming in. Yeah, the more we freeze this shit, the more that something is squeezed out of the flavor. So now it's a little more. I mean, it still has the meat flavor, but it's like they're tighter or they're more concentrated. That's what it is. But I mean, in this case, it's like it's pulling into a certain. It's like it's squeezed out to another direction. It's not hitting like the beer is hitting something strong. Obviously, it's shit we did before anyway. That's what we're going on with. It's a lot thicker, but without a shake, like a chocolate shake. Give me a shake or whatever. This is thicker, man. It's thicker. That's a shake, It's like the right type of shake, you know. All of the flavor and shit on it, man. So it's kind of like shit, Like, so we take a look at that real quick. We'll do it right. Yes. Look at a few things real quick. This shit we finna do right after the dub joint is going. We're gonna be right back. Like, shoot the dub after praying beside all everybody's at a point, everybody will turn the dub and shit. No, friend, if you rap, but I'm talking about everybody, like all in the one. Yeah, the point of all. Yeah, I think we gotta look time because I think that shit used to really be what I feel why you couldn't just really shut down a club, especially certain shit like in Atlanta. We wouldn't just go down like that. It's gonna be a little bit more organized, gonna be a little bit more shit put on, and some little spot or whatever shit they get into. I think that was the other shit that the freaknik added. So some old rappers always going off, just coming up with shit like that off the jump. And I can think that was a lot of the organizing. I think people looked for at that time rap. So people was looking for that shit, was out there on that shit. But now, of course, it's different. But we're gonna look at kind of what was working into the organized situation, especially the earlier pop shit, the New African Panther. Definitely the latest shit. The way they took that, I think, was a key for not just black community, but just any community. Some shit Pac said about Latino youths, at least, that's in the black community or next to the black community, right with it, because of where the environment is right next to New York, Cali had a Bobby type shit or whatever. But just, I mean, hell, they got this shit, whatever you want to call it. It's still a block. Cali got his shit, and I think some of these situations were key around um, not just the organizing itself, but for what rap was saying shit about, Pop was saying shit about. We'll look at a few of them things. You might be talking about it like this right now, instead of putting on the jam, because I think that was what the atrium, that latest session we saw with F5, left Kill Kim. I think that latest session showed kind of where it got into, where people got to with one another and all that. And I don't think that shit it got to have that old black conscious aspect where Pac was trying to take it and still keep it within the like the percussion. I think it's just, I mean, I'm not stopping anybody from doing what they say. I'm just saying, no, respect the community, which is real shit. The Black Panthers earlier were on that too, though they had drama with a few drugs. Huey P had it when he wasn't doing drugs, and when he was doing drugs later, he still had drama with some of the block and shit. So it was always kind of that personal law situation. But for the most part, the Black Panther just dealt with shit around the shit. You don't do that nowadays. I mean, people still make, of course, but what I mean is people in the mix of social elements of a drug war, crisis, women's crisis. We're going to take a look at some of those things too that Pac was for. Some try to say feminist or whatever. Pac wasn't exactly you talk about feminist, that movement. Pac wasn't that when you talk about rights for people, men and women, yeah. Then you would say, yeah, Pac was for that. But feminist, pure out, like going for a feminist organization. It'd be an organization that was about people, including women's rights, but that would be still a people's situation. Just like mental health is still people's situation because of how they fucking operate in society. So this is this past feminist, uh, you know, self-inducing movements, if you will. I think I think Pac would have those aspects, so he wouldn't be a feminist. But I'm just saying those words because we see a Vibe magazine article that was saying, in my opinion, off of the situation, Pac was football, like women's situation, like health or something, like some of that shit. Or, rights, yeah, that's a rights aspect. But a feminist shit isn't necessarily just women's rights. Women's rights is different than feminist shit. Being real. Uh, Same for men's rights. So I think sometimes people get those a little off. But mention this again, these are things that people organizing off in the 90s because rap looked at pretty great and all of that. So I just the rights of you see what I'm saying? Other rappers too were like that too, a bit of that aspect. So I think with society's issues with people, genders and all that shit happening already, rappers in the mix of having things to work on and take care of that shit and all that. So it's trying that responsible shit. But along the way, of course, you got all this other shit happening around that, corporation, government, and all that. So the organized thing, I think, was some type of mix from the later raps. Of course, it is now, but at the time, late 1990, I think it brought out a few key people have connections to certain shit, especially in the South and Atlanta and all that. This is pre BMFO getting into the BMF and all that TI and Alpha Mega shit, Hustle Family, the Dope. I mean, yeah, I mean, look at how much is behind all of that. Had the Crump shit, Luda and all that, and had it like, I mean, yeah, I mean, come on now. So I think a lot of the way those things went, we're coming off some of these days, we're gonna look back at, especially with this man, you know, what I'm fucking talking about. See, and another thing with Maggie saying what she's saying, I'm just looking at when you got something like Daytona Spring Break, the business of it, all the attention they get. I mean, they popping up shit right in Florida. We talking about Georgia, Atlanta specifically. We talking about what freaknik was doing. Now, it didn't need the business. You know, I mean, it had the call. You know, I mean, but that's outside the business. You know, but in the business of this shit, the freaknik shit, you go wherever, and it went with your whole out of state people, all this shit, so much shit, and to a point of rap. It went to a point of rap. The Daytona shit wasn't really on that. And sometimes nowadays, I mean, they kind of are, but not like the way it was back then. That shit was definitely the rap spot, the R&B spot, the steppers, in a big ass way, and they have more shit going on than I feel, you know, Daytona and the rap mix. Daytona and the rap mix. They weren't doing it like Atlanta and the rap, the freaknik shit. So I think that was the key with the shit like that. It was doing it, having all these other elements and the block and the running around and being about music. Like it was really about that. So they had these ways it was looked at. But before we roll out, just saying, with Panthers and all these other people in the mix again, mentioning the club shit, even with all this shit and how rappers look at from the club or women dancing with it, it still got on, put on, organized, still had the way to do it in time. We did some shit. But these days they worked and tried, fuck it. But society again trying to knock off some of these organizations because of the scenarios that they end up dealing with in the society that we live in. So these specific scenarios will take away certain rights. You know, like again, you have this shit definitely you took on those women do live longer than men. There are more women than men, but you know, men usually just fucking, you know, get up in some shit and they end up knocking each other off and killing each other. You see how this shit go, always suicide. So it's always some shit. But the point I'm making is in terms of the rights, the scenarios that go for them aren't usually supported by, you know, by in a frank way, in a frank type of way. The government blatantly isn't really just going to support that. The people also outside the government, them motherfuckers ain't really just going to be for those elements. So I think that the rap aspect, where things were getting popular at the time, was around a lot of the music. A lot of the music had motherfuckers going and organizing. You know, rap would have it with a few other organizations, shit like that. And that was a key. Some of the rap in the club in 1990, it didn't have people going to organize. The club, the rap mix rather, would have where they would get people to roll with organizations. It just worked like that at that time. And when rap was dealing with in the reality, then I think it just added something to the organization and what they would deal with and take on all that, even in drug war crisis, crime bill in '94 and all that other political shit, man. I think that's where the show rap would go. So we're gonna go with that little on the scene. Some of that scene we seeing, we taking it to rap and neo jazz soul mix of an Atrium way, but this was still a reality around it. I mean, the like what you see right here. Um, that's New African Black Panther Party. That's not the same thing, but we'll go with it right here. But just like you see these organizations, the way they put on with their situation around into the people came off of the rap shit because again, the people and the government together isn't really going for just social movements like that. So I think it's still working to a effort that what we'll be doing with the song or dress or rap aspect of the shit to kind of add a little element. I think that people miss sometimes that aspect to the dress or sometimes in the club and the freaknik shit sometimes. They miss that, so I'm just saying we just add a few things and want to come with a little improvised version of some shit. That's all. But this was still the reality though. Again, look at what the club should kind of also did when I say it got people into a certain rap, um, rap considerations for different workers like work to help out community, whatever. Sometimes the rap and club promote this shit, put that on. So I think that's when the club went out to the damn stripper joints. The club still kind of did have people organized. I've had them always organized. So I think that was a thing with where rap would get into groups like New African Panthers, or if you just look at right there. Um, Also, you do have Sister Soldiers organizations up there that was doing shit too, and you got shit like that. So you got there was another brothers type of group that happened. This would be later, pot times, death row times, all that. There's a brother organization type of shit going on. I mean, something of that. Just later pot shit organizing. Just want to get that name right. Yeah, the Brotherhood Crusade shit. You had those rallies and all that. This would be later, so there's a few key points. I had there was a sports thing he was doing for the youth. I mean, a few things, man. But the main shit that really was underrated, the main shit was really in prison interviews. Pac did an interview with Mr. Kevin Powell, and he talked about what him and Tyson and Monster Cody Scott was gonna do something about us. It was like the organization's called Us, and it was something they were gonna do out. He did do a few things with that after getting out of prison, but the timing was off when he kind of got out. So it throws some shit out. Um, just like people know the phone call interview he gave to Monster Cody, but he had been talking to Monster Cody while in prison too. So again, some of these timers it was all for the next organization aspect because things had kind of slipped with Thug Life and what the U.S. had got it. I said the U.S. had got it. And look at the Judge Fitzgerald and Pac's case. It had, I think, some of the time aspect had got it. Thug Life shit, some of what was going on with rap. Where rap wanted to start going with the bullshit. Pac didn't see him going with that whole organizing anymore. They weren't really going for that. People just wanted to go for the cash, the hoes, all this shit. A little way more than the Thug Life organizing and making people see the thug shit was past dictionaries. So, it was going against society obstacles and rap had one with organizing, coming around and actually being effective anymore because um, again, niggas can handle the club, these bros can handle the club, but some of this other shit, man, you got these bitches that were, they kind of setting up shit. You got the, besides the we're talking about the whole shit of rap and lyrics. Political people coming in rap. Pac had the rape case shit. I know all these things coming in. And so the organizer starts, snipping and starts showing people like from the industry to just people, period. They're not rolling with shit. They're switching sides and doing all this type of shit and mixed and all these things is kind of trickling and breaking any of the organized shit that had took place, which there was some. The Pac had the other situation when you look at we're gonna read to a little not to bring it too much about the law and the court situation, but there was you had some people too organizing off that, just picking sides, they'll pass fandom. So you got all this shit that rap was bringing out organized. So I think that you can't really say that it was just degrading, not just women, but they were people all saying rap was degrading the black community as a whole. Now you can't just say that because black community was in the whole shit. It was in the whole shit. Okay. Not that everybody was finna do role model, save motherfuckers, like we said, fuck saving, you know, this shit or whatever. Progress the shit. Because if people say, oh, ain't nobody gonna say, okay, motherfucker, that's fine, but progress the shit. That's what it's about. And I think that's where the point is. But again, rap was in the whole shit. But for the whole community to be looking at rap, there's some bullshit there. Some of that was because of the political forces. So people start going, obviously, the whole rap was being blamed by the black community, but not the whole damn black community. So again, rap was in the whole shit, dealing with these societal places or where people are progress. Rap was being looked at that point of shit. And that's some heavy shit I think probably was taking. It's going where nigga end up with them cash or the residential joints like Richie Rich was saying and the shit where nigga, going from that point of the presidential or whatever. I mean, to make it. So people looking at how rap was going to make it. But so what the politicians saying, nah, rap ain't going to really make it and shit. Well, what it's organizing, it didn't exactly get there, but it did have some organizing shit, that progression. That's what we want to take it to. You can still have that good. Just like we seeing right here, you got them good in the freaknik joints. You got the good, you got some good, but you got some fucked up shit in the loud. Uh, however you want to look at that. Ugly, but I mean loud is loud, ain't it? So man, that's those are some key points I think going to some of these closeness. So we just want to come with that and talk our ass off a little bit, but not really. We're gonna enjoy, we jamming. In this case, we'll be jamming. Shit here. Oh yeah, man. Let's rock with it. And this motherfucker was for Juneteenth. What?
Sometimes you can hear them coming. Yes, oh yeah, the vibration. Sharp. Yes, sharp pain. A lot of things. woofers and all that, whatever they call them, you know. I didn't understand the music that was coming out of it, but it had a lot of vibration going to it. Freaknik, we freaknik. 3,000 watts, baby, pushing everything. Oh, man, they loud, man. Turn it on for the speaker, man. No, we got the You know, the way that music is, they're liable to be deaf by the time they turn 30 years old. This is a good thing to get on the back of a truck and ride around. Especially in this environment, because you got women coming from everywhere. So everywhere. You want to see everything you want to see.
Then you ain't gonna want to stay and party with them.
Come on, ride with us. Come on, ride with us.
But if they cute and they don't have a system, then you won't want to stop and talk to them.
What the girls do?
Freak out!
I found my future wife. He just came out the hotel. He sat on the sidewalk down there. The first three. And he went to the next car to say, hey, gal just hanging out the bag and the police stopped us. Today was a bad day. It was a bad move. Well, not me off the dance. Why can't people get out of the car? You know, they said I was on the back of a truck. Riding crazy. I'm gonna ride. Let's drive and then off a ride. This is all. There's definitely lessons of fire to be learned from this. Yeah, that's a small version of Mardi Gras in Atlanta on Martin Luther King Drive.
The name freaknik brings to mind traffic jams and college students for most Metro Atlantans, but there is a much uglier side of this annual April event, a side not often talked about, but caught on tape by our cameras. We begin our Team 2 coverage with Mark Winnie.
But on a key question here, has freaknik come to foster an atmosphere where people, especially women, are victimized? And we were not successful in our attempts to get either Atlanta's mayor or police chief to watch some of what is in this report for on-camera comment. But one DeKalb County official has come out strongly about what happened on his turf.
Sometimes they get blamed for going overboard on you know, or some shit like that. But sometimes these reactions by the news people are way off. Freaknik wasn't really degrading bitches, man. They were just coming out because they fuck with it. And just to kick it like that, man, I'm saying it because you got people playing certain shit for somebody to get charged up or whatever, like, you know, like charged by the laws or whatever. So, you know, some people is using different shit over some hoes or whatever, or something in that mix. But other shit would just be out in the block with the car, motherfucker on it, hopping or trying to catch the ride like that. I mean, that's your outdated shit, like with the, you know, the club shit, when you that into it or whatever. I mean, people be showing out because other shit gotta be like more clubs, you know, until a more of a higher society shit. You got those clubs, but Freaknik was just represent everything about the club. Period. Whether it's some higher society shit or lower, because you had the steppers, you had all this. So I think it represented it all, including that shit they saying is bad or whatever. Amongst that, here go the terms. What's going with it? That was a key thing right in that earlier podcast. was definitely the New Jack Club shit. Of course, you seen the shit, man. From Living Color to all. I mean, that was your shit, man. That was your shit at college. Your spring break people were into them earlier days. Though we looking at a later freaknik time, we're talking about 1999. Yeah, it was a little different then, but it was just mixing up some shit that went off into the attention around. Still think New Jack Swing did kick off certain shit with freaknik people. It's talking about everywhere coming down to Atlanta to deal with or be up in that shit. So we're just gonna take a look real quick.
Yo, Rex in the front, and full effect.
But then we're gonna come with something a little on the underground feel. Just because of the situation, sometimes they think music don't be about. So mine, that's gonna do it. You know, we can go with this or if it's some other jam, but. But this shit right here to me, it's not quite underground, but mine, you know, that's this shit. Got this shit on for, hey, come on.
Imagine if you were in that minivan, virtually surrounded, the roof crushing overhead. Imagine if you were in this truck, rocking violently side to side, and you had to face the choice to do this. Images caught on camera during Freaknik weekend. Imagine if you were a young woman caught this day in a parking lot near South DeKalb Mall, pursued through a public parking lot. We do not know their identity, so we cannot tell you their feelings at this moment. How trapped they may or may not have felt. But for all they endured, it appears their flight from the crowd may not have been as how trapped they may be. So we cannot tell you their feelings. So we cannot tell you to do this. Images caught on camera during Freaknik weekend. Imagine if you were a young woman caught this day in a parking lot near South DeKalb Mall, pursued through a public parking lot. We do not know their identity, so we cannot tell you their feelings at this moment, how trapped they may or may not have felt. But for all they endured, it appears their flight from the crowd may not have been as rough as what another woman nearby encountered. Try to follow the struggling figure through the crowd. Try to imagine her feelings. Again, all we know about the incident is what we can see. But at least one official apparently didn't like what he saw.
It's clear that she's fighting back. It's clear that she's being assaulted.
We showed our tape of what we witnessed around South DeKalb Mall.
There was a sexual offense by that young man with the white sleeveless t-shirt. He needs to be in jail.
To DeKalb County Public Safety Director Thomas Brown.
Amazing. There were an awful lot of women out there that were innocent victims to a group of men acting like a pack of wolves. I'm very disappointed, not only as a man, but as a black man, in terms of watching my young brothers act this way and treat young sisters this way.
Brown helped us identify 2 bicycle patrol officers, yellow shirts, on the scene, and it looked to us like at least 2 other officers were in the area.
I would have loved to have had 25 officers in that parking lot.
But DeKalb was still coping with police manpower needs in the part of the county ravaged earlier in the month by tornado and storm damage. Even still, Brown acknowledges in the past most manpower has gone to keeping traffic moving. But he says Freaknik has changed, and so will police tactics.
There goes the reason why I got away from the earlier times, the New Jack and that rap at that time. But yeah, shit had changed because of the laws and what they were doing to, bringing people in the city, their connections, all the politics shit. And of course, as they shown, they feel that some of the brawls in the parking lot were, I guess, somehow mistreated, but that was more so. It wasn't any rape shit, but it's just people swarming the hole and they getting around her, they taking her on into another area of the parking lot, but the party and the little party line, they're moving it obviously, and it's outside. They bumping that bitch up into something, man. Including the broad and they putting on their little shit they get with during the joint. So when I'm saying they doing that, the cameras are showing it, and yeah, so start getting looked at as something bad because of the line. Some of those ones are all right because it's everybody dancing, but in this case, they showing the shit they feel was the degrading. Although nobody was physically hurt, ironically, but they're talking about degrading as if somebody was really almost like there was some hurt, but it wasn't anybody hurt, but it was could have been. But what I'm saying is the little line, the little dance line they have going that works through some of that. A lot of that's really the club shit. So sometimes the viewpoint is off. Some in some aspects, yeah, it's off. But obviously, yeah, they shouldn't put nobody, bro, or whoever's life in danger. In this case, the line should fuck up the broad or whatever. But the little dance line they had going, the swarming shit, that was, you could tell that some of that was coming off from the people out the party. So a lot of that was in the mix too. I freaking included it all. The shit we just seen the news going on with these detectives saying they shit, of course. So did it change that much? Shit, not that line, man, not the club shit. But what was changing around was the city where Freaknik was at. And that's what it is. And at this point of Atlanta, 1998, a lot of rap shit was more. It wasn't going with the old political and going in society shit. A lot of shit was off more laws, more corporation of laws. This these commercial times, 1998, 99, a lot more commercial shit, a lot more control, street areas around Freaknik, a lot more things coming at the club at that shit. But club still his shit, but a lot more of the law shit coming off that and coming at rap at this point too.
We're at a point now that we're going to have to be much more confrontational than what we've been in the past. It's a public safety issue now. It's not a young kids blowing off steam just before final exams. These kids here, 98% of them, I doubt very seriously that they're in college or any kind of trade school.
Shift scenes to Midtown Atlanta. We certainly don't suggest all, or even most, of the problems are in DeKalb. And beyond the video, consider the voices of the victims. You are about to hear from 3 women who, by their accounts, were pulled from a car on the way to a restaurant, and in this woman's case, simply trying to leave work.
Imagine 100 guys on top of you, and you don't know why, screaming and taking off our shirt, and they just had us pinned up in this corner. And my other sister, she was fighting, and one guy hit her in the head with bottles, and they cut her head, like right here, and I looked up and I saw her, and I started crying, and they dragged me on the ground here, and I looked at her with bottles and they cut her hair in this corner. And my other sister, you know, she was fighting, and one guy hit her in the head with bottles, and they cut her hair like right here. And I looked up and I saw her, and I started crying. And they dragged me on the ground and just start ripping at all my clothing. Just start ripping.
We plan to have their stories tomorrow. Stories that may cause some viewers to ask, could that happen to my daughter, my sister, to me? John Monica.
Thank you. Before we go on to our second part of our team coverage, we have some breaking weather. Now, what you just saw in Mark Rooney's report is not what most of us think about Black College spring break, also known as freaknik. Now, most of us just think of that choking traffic. But the ugly side of this event has state, city, and county officials and even students calling for change or an end to the event. Our Team 2 coverage continues.
Now is the time to do this. Been on the road for so long, all alone is we do but we're gonna make a brighter day. If we do this, oh yeah, everything gonna be alright. Oh yeah, try again. Oh yeah, I want you to know, yeah. I want you to know, yeah. I learned right here in the ghetto, yeah.
Everywhere I go, people know me. You're the one track act. I'm the one filling arenas. You filling arenas because you're so. Nah, you're not gonna sit here acting like you run this whole damn game. You run it. You know my name before yours. I'm out here trotting solo. And that's what I'm doing. Your little baby number, sis.
Ladies, hold
You're not about to play me like I'm some background shit. I'm the one selling out arenas, baby. Say otherwise for my pay. You ain't gonna have to reach out. Folks know my name in places you ain't even touched yet. Say it again. Hey, hold up. Girl, ain't no way you sit. You bigger than me. You wild. Nigga, baby, I sell out arenas while you still.
We're gonna get something else a little better at that point. This ain't no made-up shit right here. I don't know about that other video. Check this shit.
I'm sure that there are here in this physical world. There's an afterlife, and I do believe that your life is defined by what you believe. And I don't know what Aaliyah's beliefs were, but
I'm sure that there are people who are close to Aaliyah who will definitely feel her presence, even though she's not here in this physical form. This is the diary of Aaliyah. Work and you can get lost. I'm the doll. This business is really 24/7. It's a lot of glamour, it's a lot of work, and you can get lost. I'm the doll. It's stressful. I'm up. And see what they had for me. I want to see Aaliyah and Aaliyah. Thank you. And of course, I wanted to go to them first and see what they had for me. I want to see Aaliyah and Aaliyah. Thank you.
To the event. Our Team 2 coverage continues. Black College Spring Break. Freaknik. It was supposed to be one great big picnic in the park. A lot of fun. But it's become something very different. And now even some college students don't even want to participate. She doesn't like it, and she doesn't go, because the scene becomes something very different. And now even some college students don't even want to participate. I don't like it at all. She doesn't like it, and she doesn't go, because of scenes like this one. A young woman posing for a picture becomes a target and a victim, having to fight her way out of a sea of hands grabbing and fondling.
As a parent, I saw things on the streets that I would never want my son to participate in, and I would definitely hurt someone if my daughter had been assaulted in some of the ways.
George Hawthorne is chairman of the planning committee for what they tried to call Black College Spring Break. Participants, many of them who were not college students, called it freaknik.
We judged that our student population was down to 10 to 20%.
It's mid-20s, it's later than that, or it's juveniles who've gotten in the mix. It is really turning into a free-for-all where men think that they can abuse women, and we're having to protect some women even from themselves.
But more and more women are choosing not to go.
Here's a young lady that comes to us, she's got about a 100% chance of being molested and raped, and a very good possibility of being raped.
The Atlanta Police Department says there was women are choosing not to go.
Here's a young lady that comes to this, she's got about a 100% chance of being molested and raped, and a very good possibility of being raped.
The Atlanta Police Department says there were 4 rapes reported in the city during Freaknik. 6 complaints filed about being groped. There's no telling how many weren't reported. What happens on the street in Freaknik would never be allowed any other time.
So they start making their case about it and all that. These are reported rapes and the gropes or whatever like that. Trying to, get the freaking shit banned. This is a much later time of it though, in 1998. But I think that where the news took it at that time and takes it nowadays for the clubs, sometimes it gets a little similar. So I think the scenario with like South Decatur Mall and shit like that, these were people coming out from the freaknik shit. What I mean is these are people already coming from certain parts and shit, but they just doing their shit in the lot, motherfuckers. And then later on, they shit to work, out or whatever shit they doing blunts. Uh, they're doing that. They're coming off from the main dance shit or whatever. Freaking shit's a little more than just some cars being pushed and people hopping on. That extra shit, that's extra shit. But the the car situation and the they grabbing this broad or whatever, nobody did anything except that I guess they grabbed it. Some people was taking pictures and then they let her roll. So, niggas I guess grabbing hoes and taking pictures. This type of shit. No, this ain't no prank. Obviously, this is what they're really doing with this shit. They're grabbing hoes and taking pictures. So that aspect has to be mentioned too, because they took off whatever bros clothes and boom. But other bros are taking off their own shit like Mardi Gras. So I think that when you look at Mardi Gras experience, as a new scene, it was a little. That don't sound like a little Mardi Gras. Where you look at Atlanta and how they dealing with this shit, then and the shit they made of this one. I hear we're talking about the reported rapes or sexual situations. This is a little different than Mardi Gras, sort of, because Mardi Gras had its own little situations here and there, but Freaknik got reported on a little different. And I think that that started to be a big thing for all the other little black college experience spring break parties, as it was called, too. And obviously it wasn't just no college shit. Some you have some college bros, college men, but you gonna have motherfuckers coming from everywhere. Everybody wanna know where the party at. That was just what it was, man. It just happened that, the college mix is right in the mix of party clubs. If you look at that point of Atlanta, a lot of them schools and shit is in the mix of all them little clubs and shit like that itself. So you got the whole situation right there that works for that. But the shit they're reporting here, they got that to start making a little bit of a public notion or getting public people in the view of that shit. And then they start going on college bros, how they feeling on the club. But we got a lot of people trying to get something shut down. They actually did have a side where they had historical dances, like this, stepper, different shit like that. Other shit going on too. Those would be in some real spots of dancing in connection with the freaknik shit. So you had it. It's deeper than just this parking lot player and whole shit going on. That's your extra shit though. The news ain't gonna call it that. News ain't gonna call it your extra shit, but that is what it is. Shit, I guess we pretty much done with this shit. We're gonna do something. We're just gonna sip the rest and all that, handle that, but for sure, man. That extra shit, the shit that news is talking about. I think that's more of the city look. So this is why I want nobody called in no freaknik shit and police. That's the city look. Now when they start coming back with the city shit, the city is saying with the police shit, that they're feeling how the colleges in the city are dealing with it, the kids or the college kids, college students. They're not looking at the whole how the city feel about the shit. And that's when they start taking their little complaints or whatever shit. They start making it become publical, all that. And freaking was getting more attention in that way too. But motherfuckers coming out, whatever party joint or whatever, they got the hoes rapping freaking anyway. They got their friends and all that shit. Come on, man. Do shit with all the little extra car shaking shit and all that. Some of them bras they was far too. But sometimes this news segment misses that some of them hoes were fucking car shaking. They was fucking with that shit on the inside and all that to the out parking lot shit too. But take that away. The news, we're trying to make it the one-sided aspect, which of course this aspect should be mentioned, all the gropes and all that, yeah. But they're not mentioning the whole shit behind it, which you had brought in, man, putting it for that car shaking, same shit. Yeah, you had that going too. It's just the whole shit, man. Look at it. But it was the people, they were for it. So the college bros are not for it, whatever. This is more of the public attention situation, meaning where they start looking at the public to say something on how they feel about the rap and club aspect being that big. Oh, rap shit was really on that. So we're going to with it. We're going to stay with that. Going to bring it back to more of it in a bit. But right now, we'll get to that next jam. Join out the shit, man. Definitely want to come with we're gonna come with a bit of a few visuals, a few bit of certain political aspects of this. Right, get right back to the question. I think that rap still had that, still has that in an interesting way at the earlier freaknik shit, but around this time, the 1998 shit we just seen in the news, it wasn't really like that. But we'll take a look right back at the earlier shit and then keep it on. Shit, do that shit, man. Something Juneteenth, baby. Still going with something, baby. You know we doing it. Going with something good up in here too. Doing like that. Work. You know what? I just under the freezer, under steel, the next shit. This goddamn world. I'll let this one rain out. There's some shit in there. Solid right there. We're gonna do that real quick. Out on that shit. It's so beautiful.
He's got a sick sense of style. That's cool.
I never meant to do no wrong, and I can't stand to say goodbye. Never meant to hurt you, girl, and I can't stand to see you cry. I know I made some promises, and I broke each one of them. I never meant to hurt you, but I'm afraid it's much, much too late. The tears that I cry, I can no longer hide. So I must confess I've often thought about suicide, baby. Don't make me wait. cry. No, I make some promises, and I broke each one of them. Yes, I did. I never meant to hurt you, and I'm afraid it's much, much too late. Say that I cry, I can no longer hide. So I must confess I've often thought about suicide. Damn, baby. It's sure good to see you again. If I knew he was coming here, I wouldn't even showed up myself. So all this is doing is just bringing back all
See this shit again, baby. So much shit. Still true life. Freaknik be on out there with that shit. And all the other little shit that come off that. It be out, baby. Or just be on. Sitting and waiting, you know that shit.
But you know, that was just a past time.
Come on. Come on, it's that shit. Wasn't even trying to bring that shit like this on this one, man. But there's a few more little clubs that I think really was a true life thing, man. I just want to bring that shit. But damn, that POV, that's some shit though. You know, beat downs and shit. Yeah. You know they was on that. You knew Jay had some. Or these they was trying to rap it. You know everybody on they do addition shit or something shit like that. But New Jay had the same shit that kind of I feel sometimes slipped off like Freaknik, but it's all good. A little different, obviously. But hey, you know, certain ways shit was getting looked at. We're gonna bring it right back on some shit though to it. Get there on this.